I fucked up big time. We all know this. I hate this feeling as well. You run deep in a tournament and somehow you level yourself into making a stupid hero call because you think your opponent is supposed to play in a certain way, and based on that you make your decision, which is bullshit. And usually I don't do that, and I think I'm quite good at that, but sometimes I also fall for it, and it might have cost me my entire deep run playing for $1.2 million. So let's get into the day 2 of the Millionaire Maker. I hope you enjoy it. I played the day 2 off stream, so we're gonna go through the hands in a replayer and see how I will finish.
Millionaire Maker, we're in. Oh, that's an overplay. It's an overplay there with ace king. What the fuck is he doing? 3-betting ace 5 suited against our friend here with 10-8 suited. So we know his range is going to be really wide. And often gonna double barrel this board. He's gonna have so many ace 10s. I've also faced a lot of check raises today. Maybe even check it back and then bluff the river, because ace queen, ace jack, especially now if the ace queen suited combos bust, we can bluff now against ace queen, ace 10, ace jack, like half pot. B10's not good, pocket sixes, pocket eights very likely now. I mean, he's the guy who's also gonna have ace 8 and hearts right on those flops, so it's not 43 flop. That's very, very important, I think, to play bet check bet here. Yes. Oh, we're in the money in a milli maker. Let's go.
We never ran this promotion before. Only during January, you get to save $40 with 27% off on our monthly champions tier. If you don't want to commit to a full year, this is for you. And then you can decide to stay longer or not. It's that simple. So if you want to crush poker in 2026, this is your opportunity. You get access to all our courses, our exclusive training software paired that will especially help you with the late game. Players left, and we are playing for 1.2 million for first. So first hand here, pocket eights, think 3-bet is not so good. We also have a nice hand that can call a big blind jam. So very clear call, would start 3-betting 10s plus. It's actually not a bad spot to trap some bigger hands because of the big blind having a nice reshove stack. We check it to the river. I can even go bigger, but I think against this sizing I might get all the ace high calls. He can still have a 9 that plays like this, so and we get the call by king 7, so it was a nice start. Pocket 9s, we open, and that was the very first interesting spot to navigate. We have a clear c-bet. We even have 2 streets of value against an 8. We can call a check raise with a 9 in diamonds. Without the 9 in diamonds, I would often just bet fold because we block something like I really want to have the backdoor equity with a diamond. And if we let's say he check raises and we have 9 in spades, 9 in clubs, we still block a lot of combos like 10-9 off with something like, you know, the 10 in diamonds, 9 in clubs, or 9 in spades. So 9s itself aren't really such a great hand because 10-9s are going to be a lot of bluffs coming from the big blind. But I think this hand is still a bad call. But anyway, we check the turn and he decides to overbet. And this is very interesting because he's essentially saying he has a flush and maybe a king, right? And then obviously 2 pairs, etc. But, you know, some king X raise the flop. We bet very small. So if he has king jack, king 10, even king 9, he's a very aggressive, very good high stakes regular. So I would expect that, yeah, most king X check raise. So it could be something like king 3, king deuce, and then also some offsuited king x 3-bet preflop. So if you think about it, it's not many king x left, right? And it's 5-6 gets there. Yeah, okay. But what is interesting about the 9 in diamonds is if you think about it, it becomes an equity protection game with these decks. So if he has 9-5 in diamonds, you don't want to raise it. You just want to check call. You don't want to be blown off your equity by 3-bets, by 3-bet jams, etc. Even if he check raises and then bets the turn, we then also start shoving, against the turn bet. So he's not gonna have a lot of 9x diamonds in his check raising range, but he's gonna have a lot of 9 high flushes in his check call range that he cannot have anymore. So then obviously he can have 10 high flushes, jack high flushes. Don't get me wrong, he can have something like 10-6 in diamonds, but the most likely bluffs he's gonna have is something like queen jack off, queen 10 off, each with the diamonds for both cards, respectively. He can even have something like queen 7 off, queen in diamonds. That's a decent amount of bluff. I mean, he's overbetting, so he should have a decent amount of bluffs. So I think it's critical against a good regular to really try to understand, okay, I have a diamond, but what is he really going to do with a diamond? So for example, if I have pocket queens, I don't think pocket queens with a diamond is a worse bluff catcher than pocket nines with one diamond. It might just be a small thing, but if I want to decide, okay, he is capable of bluffing, and he's capable of bluffing in frequency. And the guys, I'm telling you this is most of the time not the case. Most players are not reaching the frequencies. So I only even start this thought process. And this happens in like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7% of the times. Because especially this day 2 millimaker, he was the only decent opponent on my table. So against him, unfortunately, I needed to think things through a little bit. And then I came to the conclusion that on this run out, I'm going to have lots of give ups, lots of ace highs. I will also have to bluff catch something but just the king. So I thought it's not a terrible combo. And he showed up with queen 10, which I was hoping he has. Jack 8, we fold, jack 10. Yeah, you will see a lot of loose openings. Again, very weak table. Yeah, we just give up here, not our board. He was a regular as well, but looked a bit more like on the punty side, like, the kind of regulars who I think, they're regulars who are very good, like aggressively good, and then there are regulars who are aggressively, but yeah, it's just a bit random. So once I open raised and he would 3-bet me, I would just decide to jam this hand. And also the thing is, even if I have an aggressive opponent to my left, doesn't mean that I open tighter, because some are so aggressive that I just 4-bet jam the shit out of you, right? Because that's what I mean. It's a lot tougher when you have opponents who are good aggressive, who understand when to be aggressive, and they're not overly aggressive. Like some are just being aggressive for the sake of aggression, and it's a bit riskier and higher variance to play against them, but I think it's still pretty easy to play against them, or there's still a lot of EV to make against them. Pocket nines here, we can bet, we can check back, both are fine. Turn, I want to bet, I think I get one street. He's gonna have all the ace queens in his range in pre-flop and also now. So I think I want to go big against ace queen. I want to go big against 5x in hearts. Think I have at least one big value bet here. Ace deuce, 5 big blinds. He's going to shove all the Broadway, something like 10-9 suited. So we definitely get the odds to call, and we bink the river. Queen jack suited here. That was the recreational, so I just go. Okay, you can already go bigger on the flop, and then I just go greedy on the turn against ace jack off, ace in spades, pocket kings, pocket aces, 1 spade, and so on and so forth. By default. Queen 8 off, yeah, we just fold. Pocket aces. Okay, so I think this board we should be checking a lot. It's a board where very often we're not gonna have 3 streets anyway. King is not good, 10 is not good, 9 is not good, queen is not good. So I decide to check call, especially since we're relatively deep. He bets again. We call. The thing is, though, kings is an interesting hand to jam against the ace queens, and then also protect against king 10s, 10 9s, backdoor flush draws. But aces, you block all the ace queens, so you kind of like, I really prefer having kings in this spot over aces on this board. And yeah, and we just check it down. I would have been, I mean, obviously we can call down because he can value bet king, queen, ace, queen. Like once we get there on the river with aces and the river is, let's say, 3, we just check call. Pretty much against any sizing. Limp. Good hand to start betting. Keep value betting since he doesn't raise. Can exclude a lot of 2 pairs. Value betting against backdoor draws, 5x, 6x. Some jack x in there as well, but I think the 10 is good enough to value bet. So we had a very good start. So yeah, that was this guy had a very high 3-bet over a couple of hundred hands already. And I thought it's like, very often they like, but he was a recreational and they like to go 6 big blinds. Usually when they have a hand like ace, king, kings, queens, jacks. So this is often aces, or could still be kings, don't get me wrong. This is again just a sizing tell I have on all of that I think a lot of players have. So I went for a frisky 4-bet. We can still fold against under the gun. I mean, if he jams, it's like queens plus ace king, and we're completely toast. Even though there's already, we only have to pay 12 more big blinds for 40 big blind pot, we still don't have the equity. He calls, so I was like, all right, I'm just done with the hand. So because usually his 3-betting range should be very polarized, right? It should be maybe an ace 8 off, maybe like a lot of offsuited hands, a king jack off, king 10 off, and we don't need to go that big. We already have enough fold equity against that range. That was also recreational, very interesting, and usually these spots are very, very good. Very, very good for us, and they often also reveal the hand strength, so I just randomly start stabbing here, keep betting. The best hand he can have is 8s and 9s, and obviously on this board, he's very ace king, ace queen heavy. This is really the pressure you apply against players, recreationals who deep in the tournament. You already think it's like, I don't know, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 pay jumps, and do you really want to risk half of your stack for an ace high hero call? So this is a bluff I would never do in an early game, but it's a bluff I would very often do in a late game scenario. 6-5, easy check, goes for delay bet. We definitely call here, even if it's pretty big. Check it back on the river and yeah, take it down. This would be too loose to call. Ace king, we squeeze. Yeah, it sucks, but I'm not folding ace king here, especially when I expect a lot of aces and kings to click it back to like 22 big blinds. So it's very, very often ace king. I've seen some ace queen punts, jacks and 10s, and even with the edge, when you have so much dead money in the middle and you get the right price, definitely gonna call here. Here's ace king and clubs. Ace 5 suited. It's fine to 3-bet, but you will be surprised that this hand is actually flatting quite often, because then 3-betting, it really likes this hand also in single raise pots. Obviously, 3-bet pots is fine as well, but I see a lot of people saying, oh, it's the solver hand, 4-bet jamming, it's the solver and always 3-betting. No, it's not true. I can show you a bunch of sims where actually Ace 5 suited, it flats it a lot more often than the suited aces, and it also makes a lot of sense to me. So, and you have a potential hand, if someone squeezes and you think it's too aggressive, you can simply back jam or back 4-bet or whatever. So we call it, and this was, by the way, I think Tommy Emmerichs. So obviously a very good opponent as well. Don't need to push the variance, you know, especially when it's like both flat and call, both flat and 3-bet are fine. I tend to just flat. Everyone checks through, nobody shows strength, so we take a step and we take it down. Yeah, just folding here the turn against the delay bet. Ace-9. And I think turn is okay to barrel. Just kind of suck if he turns like 6-9, 6-7 into a bluff. We have 2 overcards against it. We're still ahead against flush draws that might fold now if he has something like 4-5 in diamonds, or even king-3 diamonds might have to fold, which isn't that terrible either, but I'm just saying that the check is also a pretty decent option. And then obviously we have a clear value bet. Why? He's gonna have ace deuce, ace 3, ace 4, ace 5 in diamonds. He's probably gonna bluff catch some queen X. So it's also a good spot to squeeze actually, but his 2.5x made me a bit worried. So from Elmerix. So this guy you will see, he was also recreational. I mean, he just donks his king queen. The stack off is fine. I don't think I would fold as well, but just the way he played it was a bit strange. 3-win the ace king. We don't get any action. This guy was a bit on the tighter side, so I decided just to fold my hand. Ace 8 off. Let's see. Oh, blinds went up. Aces, no action. Now we just check it down and then fold. Three-winning a7 suited here. Now I took a spot against Emmerich. Of course, it doesn't mean I will never 3-bet, but I'm just going to be a bit more mindful and, let's say, a bit more solid. Bit of a loose open. I think it's fine. There are a bunch of players to my left who were rather passive and not 3-betting a lot. And against the 5 big blinds here, we obviously stack off. Unfortunately, there was no action with the queens. King Jack suited. Yeah, just a bunch of pre-flop folds. Not much going on. Just reshoving the ace jack against ace jack. Sweat on the turn. Yeah, and then as you can see, we're getting a bit short. It's basically just pre-flop, some raise folds, take it down. And then we had one very interesting hand. I think it really just went like this. Aces. Oh, we had a 1 double up here. Okay. With aces. Okay. What happened next? Three-betting the a6 off, taking down a nice pot here. So still trying to keep my head over water. And now 2 very interesting hands. We open queen jack suited. So big blind calls. Very standard c-bet. And he calls, turn, easy value bet, especially now double flush draws. So many draws there. And yeah, I think 9-8 in clubs. Yeah, and he leads now. And this is a spot where at first I was like, okay, he can have block bet, freeze bet, pocket knights, pocket eights. But then, Ben, really, so deep in a tournament, is anybody gonna invest 800k of this stack to bet here with 9s and 8s? Maybe once in a blue moon, but don't level yourself now into stupid hero call. And draws, I mean, maybe king queen, like king queen clubs, or like king queen off and then makes the straight draw and then now leads. I don't know. This looks really like this typical, I made a flush, I want some value. I have seen this line a million fucking times. And I'm very, very happy I made the fold. And then we get to the next hand. We raise queens. 3x pretty standard for the stack size. Calls. Ace 8-6. I bet. He calls. And turn. Lots of combo draws. Still 8-9. Any king high flush draw. Jack 10s with the flush draw. 6-5. 8-9. 7-9. And I decided to bet. I like the bet a lot. And then we can check back on a safe river. I mean, we would probably check back any river. I mean, we could maybe, if there's a 9, maybe if we think he has some ace-x, turn out to do bluff, but I think it's a bit of a stretch. And he decides to jam. And now I'm going to teach you something. Obviously, calling here is horrendous. And in this spot, and in the day 2 WCUP event that I played, and also in this one, I played so many spots where it was exactly, okay, Ben, don't try to think about what they should be doing. Think about what are they doing in reality and play against that. And when that means they don't bluff, you fold everything. And if that means they overfold, you bluff everything. Don't start with your blockers, any of that. That has made you so much money in the day 2s. It helped so many of our students to become professionals and to crush. You have the data, you have the proof. You've made so much money for over 10 years, every single fucking time. And yet, I sit here, I'm like, with 20 big blinds, he should not have an ace. He would limp jam those. Maybe he would also raise them. So he's probably shoving a combo draw. 6-5, 8-9, 7-9. I mean, he could, right? But he also has a bunch of 10-9, 7-8s, 7-6, and random ace-x, you know? And that's exactly a league that I have sometimes, and many of us have, where I'm too much in my well-studied kind of approach. I mean, he should still have some ace-x, right? He should not limp jam any ace. So even if you look at a solver, he should probably still limp call some ace-x, right? But I was thinking more in terms of a lot of players, if they have under 25 big blinds effectively in ace, they just limp jam. But they're not doing it so fucking deep in the tournament. And that's my problem. That's where I leveled myself into this absolutely stupid, fucking retarded hero call. Idiot. Idiot. Absolute idiot. You can roast me in the comments for that, and I hope you guys learn from it. And that's definitely not one of my proudest moments. And yeah, again, bet on turn is fine, but this is just not good. And it happens because Sunday grinding 10 hours, going to bed at 8 a.m., waking up to not fuck up my sleep at 11 a.m., then again grinding until, I don't know, midnight again. And I actually played the 5K day 2 main event, the WSOP main event, until 6 a.m. in the morning again and made it to day 2. Yeah! But I was really pissed after this one. I was really pissed and tried to just a couple of minutes, okay, reset happens. We're gonna find meaning in this. Meaning in terms of you're gonna get better from it, and you're also gonna share this hand so others can learn from it. So you guys are not paying the lesson I had to pay for. So you're getting this free lesson. Do not apply this mirror approach in these critical moments. Meaning applying, thinking, oh, that's how they should play, and based on that I make my decisions, which sometimes is fine when you don't really know how they play. But let's be honest, in this spot we know how this average recreational plays, especially when you're deep in a tournament. 19 out of 20 are exactly doing what we know they're doing, yet we rather follow what they should be doing. But that's stupid. Maybe there's once in a blue moon this guy who doesn't play a lot of hands, but secretly is an absolutely maniac. Yeah, but that's a part of the game. Everyone is going to be losing money against them because we overfold. Whatever, doesn't matter. We care about what 80, 90, 95% of the player pool are doing. So I hope you guys have some takeaways. I finished, I think, in position 100 for 10K. Was such a nice tournament. And Let me know in the comments what you think about this play. What was your biggest misplay? What was the play that you hated the most for? And one last piece of advice, use this when you make a lot of folds instead of, oh, again a fold, again a fold. It's energy. And if you have this kind of approach, I know that myself, of thinking that this energy drags you down, you will reach this point where you will punt and make mistakes and make the hero calls. Instead, you should celebrate it. You should be proud of yourself. Again, it's energy. If you're not using it, it will eat you. It will eat you in a way that it will control you and you are making a stupid call. Instead, you should be mindful, and when you make a big fold, even though it kind of feels tilting, to self-tell, hey, you know what, actually, I saved money. And next time, when I am the one having the hand, he's not going to be able to fold. So I will make money against this motherfucker. And then you do it a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth time. Because in a session, very often, when we do a lot of folding, it feels like we are being pushed around. And when you're not aware of it, when you're not battle against it, when you're not combat it, it will eat you up. It's energy, guys. It's not a fucking secret. And it's actually science that whatever mood we are in, it's energy moving, and you can channel this energy and use it for something good. You all know it. What do you think happens after 5-6 folds? We reach this point, oh, like everyone is just so like pushing me around. Now I'm gonna call for no fucking reason, even if you know you're beaten, because you fucked up fold number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where you weren't present, where you weren't aware, and this energy slowly starts eating you up and sucks you down to the bottom of your absolute worst possible game, and then you end up making those stupid calls exactly like this. And probably the queen jack hand played something into that as well. It's like, oh god, now I have to fold again. It's so obvious what he has, instead of, man, like, yeah, fuck yeah, not paying you out your flush. Boom, queens. Okay, a bad fold. I keep grinding my 13 big blinds. Never would have that happened if I would have had the mindset and the resilience in this very moment. I didn't pay attention, and you can see how this energy probably cost me tens of thousands of euros. So learn from it so it doesn't happen for you. Don't forget to smash that like button and to subscribe, and see you guys in the next video.